What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a crazy Q&A. I recently had some questions I asked on my Facebook page that got one heck of a response. So I figured I needed to elaborate on that in this Q&A, as well as answering the questions you guys posted on the Facebook page for the questions and answers post that happens once weekly. So once again, if you want to get involved in these, you need to go to my Facebook page, Remington James, and add me and be on the lookout for that post, which I typically do once a week. And you guys are about to witness the result of that post. So if you want to shout out and your question answered, be sure to add me on there. But anyways, enough talking, guys. Let's go ahead and get straight down to business. You guys ready? Let's do it! Okay guys, starting this Q&A off, I actually have a question, and most of you might have clicked on this just because of this question. So what I want to do for those of you that are most curious about this, I wanted to get this topic out of the way now. When I tell people, especially people close to me, how much I do make strictly off of YouTube, they are often surprised. And this, I asked if people would be interested in seeing it, and the resounding 95% of people wanted to know how much money YouTube pays me. And the other 5% would be people that were concerned that I was breaking terms of service, which I will elaborate on a little bit. And the other people were saying that it was no one's business and that I could potentially lose support and subscribers by disclosing how much money YouTube pays me. And here's my thought process on that, right? In the end, YouTube only pays me because you guys watch my videos. So for me not to at least be somewhat transparent with you guys, in my opinion, would be, I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong move, but I always preach transparency, and I preach not like trying to hide stuff from you guys. So I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. And for those of you that warned me against it, I understand that it was from a good place, but I feel like not doing it simply because I was scared of, I don't know, losing subscribers or losing people that invest in me and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I'm just not worried about it, guys. I understand that certain YouTubers might choose not to share this information, and certain YouTubers, for instance, I will use Bradley Martin, for example, right? That guy has to be a millionaire. He absolutely has to be, but he chooses not to show you his really nice car he drives, show you any of the money he makes, or disclose any of the money he makes through YouTube. And that, which is fine. I understand that some people don't feel like that's anybody's business. And I'm not gonna sit here and try to flaunt what I make or anything like that to anybody at any point. But I do wanna show you guys that if you work hard enough, right? And if you put enough of your energy into something, especially a dream, a passion project, whatever, right? Even if it's just losing weight, that you can reap benefits for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do. Now, the biggest thing with how much money I make on YouTube, right? I read through the terms of service, and I did find out that it's totally against the terms of service for me to disclose exactly what I make. My original plan for this video was not to put this in a Q&A. It was actually to go into my creator studio that gives me full analytics on my YouTube channel. It shows me how much money each video makes me. It shows me how many people are watching my videos from the different countries across the world. It shows me the analytics, so you actually get male and female, gender, age, a ton of stuff. I can't show you any of that for fear of me getting my account removed. So as much as I want to be as transparent as possible with you guys, I just can't show you that stuff. And as far as giving you an exact number of how much I make, I want you to understand that that number varies, right? Day to day it varies. YouTube gives you a rolling average of how much money you're making per day. And what happens with that number is that, you know, on Fridays, people might watch my content more than they do on a Thursday, or maybe Sundays, for me personally, tend to be my biggest day. So more people watch my content and subscribe to my channel on those days than any other day. So you might ask, first off, how are you getting paid through YouTube? Well, when you watch a YouTube video, most of you probably already know, when you watch one, you get served an advertisement sometimes. So you might watch a video and then you watch an ad in the beginning, or you're watching a video and halfway through it cuts off, you have an ad, and then you resume the video. Those advertisers are who pay us. So when I say us, I mean YouTubers in general, right? When I first started YouTube, it was never really my intention to get paid through YouTube. I didn't really even think you could make that much money on it unless you were one of the big dogs. But I have come to find out that even just at 50,000 subscribers, that you can make a pretty decent living. So without giving you the exact number, I just want to put something into perspective for you guys. At my last job, before I started doing this, I made about $40,000 a year. That for me was a very comfortable living, right? I live in Ohio, so the standard of living here, or the cost of living, isn't very high. And with that money, being a single guy, I was able to buy this house that you guys have seen plenty of. I was able to buy a pretty nice car, in my opinion, if you've seen my car, and I've lived comfortably. I've been able to live this lifestyle, buy all the bodybuilding foods I need, and go have fun when I want to. But that job didn't leave me having a whole lot of leftover money, right? I had some I was able to save and, in turn invest in starting this up, but that didn't leave me I wasn't wealthy, right? I would say that's about middle class. And I will tell you with 100% honesty that YouTube alone pays me almost that much right now. It pays me almost that much a year. If I took my first 3 months of this year, so January, February, and March, today is April 1st, if I took those 3 months and multiplied it out by 4, and that's not factoring in any growth or me growing at all or anything like that, this year I would make just almost right under that in money. So it does pay. It does pay well. And keep in mind that YouTube is not my only source of income. I also have my apparel business. I have sponsors that pay me, and by and far, my biggest source of income comes from coaching clients, making meal plans, training plans, and stuff like that. So I wanted to just elaborate on this a little bit. I know I made that post, but then after I researched it, I really didn't want to risk my account getting banned and showing you guys kind of behind the curtain. But I did want to tell you that, yeah, at 50,000 subscribers, YouTube pays me pretty well. I could literally, if I chose to, I could do just YouTube and do nothing else and live just about how I lived before. Hopefully that satisfies those of you that were wondering. Some people seem to absolutely surprised that YouTube pays you, and they do. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is one of the largest advertisers in the world. If you've ever seen an advertisement on a website, 9 times out of 10, that was served to you by Google and Google AdWords. I just felt that, I don't know, for the sake of being transparent, that is how much YouTube pays me, and it is what it is. I might end up regretting putting this in the video, but that remains to be seen. I always preach positivity, and I preach transparency, and I always tell you guys that I'm gonna be open and honest with you, and me hiding that and hiding the fact that this pays me, I didn't feel like was putting my best foot forward and me being 100% honest with you guys. So yeah, that is basically that. So anyways, guys, I wanted to clear that up, and let's get to answering some actual questions. Okay, question 2 comes from Blake Johnston, and he asks, what's up, Rem? Can you give us some insight on your next food challenge, or tell us a little bit about your collaboration with Travis S? For those of you that might not know, Travis S is a YouTuber that I'm actually personally friends with. We met at the Arnold. We'd been talking before the Arnold Classic, but we ended up meeting up at the Arnold, and we hit it off pretty well. The guy's super cool, super humble dude, and we kind of got our gears turning, and we talked about, well, hey, we need to get together. We need to make a video happen. He only lives 2 hours away from me, and we should meet up, do a food challenge. He does a lot of food challenges, and we can make some really killer content. So as of today, as I'm filming this, it is Saturday, and I am going to wake up tomorrow, get as much work as I can done, and I am heading down to Cincinnati, and we're going to tackle, I think this is going to be like an 8-pound burrito or something like that we're going to attempt to demolish. So yeah, that's the info, guys. So the whole thing with that challenge, I'm not going to film the challenge for my channel. He's got more subscribers, and in reality, he's helping me out more than I'm helping him out. So my opinion on this matter was I'm just going to vlog it. I'm going to take my camera. What is up, guys? Remington here. We're outside of the burrito place, just going down. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to let him have the actual challenge video, which is totally fine by me. I get to introduce myself to his subscribers and have a lot of potential for growth there. And I'm at a point now in my channel where I'm growing rapidly. I'm growing so fast, and I couldn't be more blessed. I really couldn't. But you gotta be fair in these things, right? You gotta understand that when you're doing this stuff, it is a business move, right? As much as we're gonna have a blast, and I know it's gonna be an awesome video, and everything's gonna work out just fine, this is a business move, right? And you have to act like a professional. And for me to go there and demand, like, well, I want the challenge for my channel, like, that's just not a good move, right? He's helping me out more than I'm helping him out, which is why I'm driving to him, and which is why I'm giving him the challenge, because in the end, it's beneficial for both of us, and I believe in mutually beneficial relationships over everything. You can't just expect someone to give you something with nothing in return. In the professional world, it doesn't work like that. For those of you that own a business or do work for yourself, maybe you just freelance, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. So thanks for your question, man. Appreciate you. All right, from Jenny Marie, she asks, what is the best and hardest part about being fit? I seen this question. Maybe I normally wouldn't have answered a question like this, but this will be a quick one, so I'll answer it. The best part about being fit, at least for me personally, is the self-confidence boost and the compliments I tend to get when I'm out and about, especially when I'm rolling with my crew. So if it's like me, Nate, and Ankrum rolling around, like, I can't tell you how many times in Miami we're just walking and people would just make gestures like, oh, you guys lift, or do you guys just leave the gym? And just the fact that someone acknowledges your hard work is a huge, what's what I'm looking for? It's a huge uplifting thing in a way, right? Like I always say, I kind of grew up without being like the big guy, strong guy, whatever. And I never really got compliments like that. And to get recognized for your hard work is a good feeling. So I'd say that's the best part. And that too, like it just helps all around, right? I think that in all my dealings with people, especially now that I do a lot more business dealings, it makes a better first impression when I show up and I am fit, because I think it shows a certain level of dedication that someone else might not have, right? I'm not saying I'm more dedicated than anybody else when it comes to anything. All I'm saying is that if someone shows up and they're fit, you know, at least they're able to put a lot of their energy into one thing and make that thing a reality for them. That would be the best part. The hardest part, obviously, is the fact that I can't eat pizza every day. That's by far the hardest part. Any other hard parts about being fit? You have to pencil out certain times of your day to go to the gym. You have to carve that time out. But as much as I don't want to try to say that going to the gym it's a burden, right? And it's like really hard, but because I enjoy it. That's like my therapy. But I would say, sometimes planning your schedule around that can be a hard part of being fit. So anyways, thanks for your question so much. From Alan Gillespie, I felt like this was a very good time to answer this question. He asks, for those of you that follow me on Facebook and Instagram and all my social medias, if you're not, description box below, you can follow me on there. You tend to get a better understanding of some of the stuff going on in my life if you follow me on there, because I try to post as often as I can and keep you guys updated on stuff outside of the videos. So recently I told everybody I was moving out of the state of Ohio. And so Alan Gillespie asks, where are you moving and what opportunity are you grabbing a hold of and what do we have to look forward to in your near future? Lastly, what is the timeline for this move? So let me elaborate on this a little bit. This entire move that I'm making, right, has a lot of different things riding on it in as far as how well or how soon it's going to pan out and work out. I still haven't cemented all the details. We still have many meetings ahead of us before we really break this down and make it a reality. But I will be taking one of my closest friends with me down there. So for those of you commenting about Team Dry Scoop breaking up, you don't got to worry about that. But we will be going down there in the attempts to open a business and run that business. I can't get too into specifics right here. I can't get on here and really talk about it because I would hate if something happened and this didn't go through and I'm on here blabbing about it. But I'm just gonna say that we have potential to really change the game by moving down there, opening a shop and living on the beach and just completely blowing things out of the water. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and when it was pitched to me, I absolutely can't let anything get in the way of me going after this. I think so many people get so scared of change and so scared of uprooting from where they're at, and I'm just not gonna be one of those people. As much as I love everybody here around me and I'm gonna miss a lot of people here, I just know that Remington James isn't, his final destination is not Ohio, especially this small town I'm in. My final destination is so much farther away from this, and I couldn't be more excited and pumped, and I've just been kind of grinding every day trying to make this dream even more of a reality, and I don't have any doubts that if this does happen, that it's gonna be big. So some of you might have a rough idea of kind of what I'm talking about. Like I said, I can't get into specifics on here yet because we haven't cemented any of the deals, but just know that when the move happens, the content's gonna be killer, and you guys are gonna love it. And the whole process of opening this business and starting it and really watching this flesh out and just take over a market will be phenomenal. So big things coming in the future. And as far as the timeline goes, probably 3 months minimum, 6 months maximum is what I would say. So thank you so much, Alan, for your question. Sorry to keep you waiting in anticipation. All right, from Patrick Priest, final question we have, intermittent fasting. Do you adjust the time based on your workout schedule? Example, during the week I work out after work, weekends I work out in the AM, so I'm game for shenanigans later in the day. And also, have you been affected by YouTube's monetization policy changes? Okay, intermittent fasting, so he's asking, do I switch my times up day to day depending on my workout schedule? I don't, I keep the same schedule every day. Some days I train fasted, I'm able to go in and do my cardio and my workout fasted, and other days I can't work out until tonight. Like for instance, right now, it is 5:48 in the evening, right? You guys are gonna watch this video tonight, probably around 9 p.m. and I haven't been to the gym yet, so I'm gonna have to get this video, edit it, upload it, then go to the gym. I'll be in the gym really late tonight. But I broke my fast per usual at 1 p.m. and I'll end up cutting it off probably around 10. Now the only thing I will say about it, right, is like, let's say my workout lasts until 10 and that's after my fasting window. It's not gonna bother me a whole lot if I don't quit eating until 11 p.m., right? I don't think it's so much the exact being 100% strict and being like 16 hours on, 8 hours off, no exceptions. I think it's just as long as you're practicing it for the most part every day, you're fine. Like I always tell people, don't get too caught up in the minute details. You can really end up missing the big picture if you focus too much on the tiny little things. In the end, as long as you're doing it, putting your best foot forward, I think it's gonna work out for you. And the final thing he said is, have you been affected by YouTube's monetization policies? For those of you that might not know, I think this is kind of convenient considering I answered the first question about the how much money I make and all that. I don't seem to have been affected by the monetization changes. that I can see. I know that there was a rate where I appeared to be growing faster in how much money I was bringing in, and it seemed to kind of top off for a while, and then it picked back up. So I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but I think what he's referring to is that YouTube's new policies regarding monetization. There was recently a lot of big players that pulled out their advertising off of YouTube, and they pulled off because what was happening is YouTube uses a software program that determines which videos get which ads, right? No one's actually like paying attention to it that's a human, simply because it's such a hard job to do. I read something like 400 hours of video footage get uploaded to YouTube every second, so there's no way a normal person or a team of people could police all that. So it's left up to algorithms and stuff that happens behind the scenes that solve that. And a lot of your big players, Pepsi I know did, who else did? Okay, I'm just gonna say Pepsi. I wanna say Nike too, but Pepsi, Nike, some big companies pulled advertising from YouTube, and they did that simply because what was happening is their ads were getting served alongside very radical videos. I think some guys were posting videos that had like racist undertones and political stuff, and they just came off as like hate speech, but yet Google's algorithm has no idea. So it's putting those ads on these videos, so people, without knowing any better, they're like, why is there a Pepsi ad on this dude that's a racist butthole, right? So they pulled all their advertising until YouTube figures it out. Now, do I think that that has affected me? I haven't noticed anything recently. This kind of just happened. If anything, I've been growing through this, but luckily I don't think that those guys, Pepsi, Nike, stuff like that, are advertising through me as much as I probably get supplement advertisers and stuff like that. Mainly my ads are fitness, but I have no idea. I guess I see a lot of car insurance ones when I watch my own videos back. But anyways, as far as those policies affected me, everything seems fine. But even if YouTube did, for some reason, there's been some rumors lately that YouTube might quit paying people or you might start making less on YouTube. I am not concerned about that at all because my training business is by and far my most profitable source of income. So if I lost everything else, I would still be just fine. You know, I love doing YouTube for the fact that for me, it's free advertising. So I can get my name out there. People can get connected with me, my team, my message, everything that I do. And it also lets me like help people. You know, the amount of emails I get in a day, it's crazy. I wake up every morning to about 50 emails, by the way. So if you send me one and I don't respond, I'm going to apologize, but I simply don't have the time to email and respond to everybody. But I do respond to some when I can. So continue to send them. I don't mind reading. I do read them all, by the way. I love getting them, but I get so many emails and comments from people telling me that I help them lose this weight or I've changed their life, and that to me is worth more than any dollar amount you will ever put on any of this stuff. So okay guys, I think that is gonna wrap up this Q&A video. I really hope you guys got some value out of this. Thank you to everybody that asked questions. I appreciate your support as always, and I hope that I didn't scare any of you away with the whole money talk, because my main goal with that is, you know, I started YouTube a little over a year ago, maybe a year and 2 months ago, I think. My first video was early January, what we're in April now, so about a year and 3 months ago. And I went from making nothing with it to making something with it, right? I know that YouTube seems to be such a weird thing when people ask me about it. When people hear I do YouTube, they go, well, what's that even mean? What's that even do? And no one realizes that you can actually make a pretty comfortable living doing it. And there's some guys out there that make millions of dollars a year off of YouTube. So not that that was my direct intention when I started, but I just want you guys to know, if any of you are considering starting a YouTube channel, or even if you're considering starting anything, no matter what that thing is, right? You can make a living doing what you love. You really can. These videos started as a passion project and turned into something that financially supports me and lets me live my dream and just keep on doing what I do on a bigger and bigger scale as time goes by. Thank you to everybody that's watched this video. And like I said, for those of you that told me not to do it, I'm going to apologize in advance. I couldn't not be transparent. So that's that. And YouTube, if you're watching this and you're mad about me for talking about it, let me know. I'll delete the video. I'll delete the video. You just let me know first. Don't delete my account. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. And as always, guys, don't forget to smile, remain positive, and pay someone a compliment, because you never know whose day you could be making better. With that, I'm out of here. This has been a Remington James production, and I'll see you guys at the next video. See you guys.